evening, dear students. Today we are going to learn. Some important topics, which is very important with respect to State Public Service Commission examinations and Union Public Service Commission examination and all the related government competitive examinations. Here we are going to learn about Indian polity. India is seventh largest country in the world and second largest populated country with economically strong with nominal GDP power in seventh rank and having with respect to the purchasing power parity second in the world. Its political machinery is very complicated. With respect to the constitution, India follows parliamentary form of government or Westminster type government. In this government, the head of the country is nominal head, that is the President of India. He is de jure ruler of India. The de facto ruler of India is the cabinet of ministers or council of ministers headed by the prime minister. Although the constitution permits the head of the state as president with maximum power in literature, but in practically all the powers, both economic, political, diplomatic, all the powers is concentrated in the hand of cabinet minister. In Indian political scenario, the articles 52 to 78 describe the president. Now, some questions and ambiguities arises related to the president of India, as the India a democratic republic, secular union of states, and as the president represents the people of India, he must be directly elected by the people. But as the India a largest populated country in the world and the 28 number of states and considering all the union territories, their peoples are ethnically, culturally more far different. That is why India is considered as the subcontinent. And not only here, India as emerging as a developing country, and in case of India for direct presidential election is very costly and not only very time consuming also. As the de facto ruler is the prime minister of India, so if Indian president must be elected by the people, then there is a high probability that is the president should be a prime minister favored person, and his constitutional position never become a neutral. The president is elected by a special electoral college composed of the members of parliaments, both upper house and the lower house, and the MLAs of several states of India and union territories that possess legislative assembly, just like for Delhi, and the second is the Puducherry. Here is the Puducherry one. And for the presidential election process, the value of MLA vote is counted as the total population of the state divided by total number of elected members of this assembly divided by 1000, and the value of MP, the vote value of MP is total number of MLAs of all states divided by the total number of parliaments. As the president is elected by a special electoral college, and here the voting personalities never have a single vote. All the personalities have multiple number of vote, and during this process the first preference is counted, and any dispute arises relating to the presidential elections, then the Supreme Court decision is final one, and any disputes regarding the presidential election cannot be sued in any court or other such institutions. Here one should be keep in mind that both the elected member of the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha, although participate in the elections of the president, still the nominated member of the both house never take part. And for the legislative organ also, all the elected member participates. But for the impeachment process, although the nominated and elected member of the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha participate of his Majesty his impeachment process, the elected member of the elected member of the state legislative or union territories that has the legislative assembly never participate in the impeachment process, although they participate in election process. Here an important point must be noted that the first long-term president, the first honorable president, Dr. Rajendra Prasad, he holds the presidential office for a long time, and during his period the constitution comes on, and after the Rajendra Prasad the next comes Dr. S. Radhakrishnan, and up to V.V. Giri, it is found that all the vice president is promoted to president after their respective election. Dr. Zakir Hussain and Fakhruddin Ali Ahmed are two honorable presidents who died in his office, and first president who died in his office was Dr. Zakir Hussain. And in the history of the presidential election, N. Sanjeeva Reddy, Honorable President N. Sanjeeva Reddy, was one and only one personality who unopposedly elected in this office. If we consider the first women president of India, Honorable Mrs. Pratibha Patil, was first and foremost women president of India, although Honorable Lakshmi Sehgal participates as the first women to compete for presidential election process. The first scientist, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, was elected as a president in 2002 without any member of any political organization. So anyway, after the presidents, and one should be keep in mind that Justice M. Hidayatullah was the only Chief Justice of India who acted as President of India for a short time. During this period, V.V. Giri, Honorable President, he actually resumed office after him. Now, what should be the qualifications of elections of the president? The Indian political system permits a, a person who is a citizen of India and never specify either it is naturalized citizen or citizen by birth or any other form, never clearly indicates. So he must be of 35 ages and he must be eligible to be elected by any house of the parliament and never holds any government office or any other constitutional office like governor of any states, administrators, and etc. etc. The term of presidents the term of the president office is 5 years in general, but he may be once again re-elected by the electoral college, both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha and others. The constitution provides the impeachment procedure with the prior recommendation of the president with 14 days notice. Till now, no president has been impeached in the history, and the president can be impeached if and only if with the backgrounds of violation of the constitution or if he is proved to be insufficient or ineligible to hold the office. So anyway, sir, there are a lot of things, and so vast is the Indian constitution that in a very short period or short span of time we are unable to discuss more about the presidents. So now, in a gist, we have to want to discuss about the power and functions of the president. As the president is a sovereign personality, a sovereign office, he is excluded from any kind of any kind of criminal procedure. He is already neutral, and he is protected for any kind of criminal procedures and any other civil procedures, and that is already enlisted in the 10th schedule or anti-defection law. As in written form, the president is the supreme of our country. Still he enjoys the following powers, and they are classified into several categories. These are executive powers, legislative powers, financial powers, judicial powers, and diplomatic powers, military powers, and special powers, that is emergency powers. One should keep in mind that out of these 7 powers, the last one is a very important emergency power, which is actually incorporates not our country's innovation. It comes from the German constitution. Emergency powers. Executive powers. Now we will discuss about one by one in a very simple form, such that we can cover the topics in a very short time. So all the executive actions of the central governments is taken with respect to his orders, and he appoints prime ministers and all cabinet ministers and Comptroller Auditor General of India, the Chief Justice of India, Supreme Judges of the Supreme Court, and Governor of the states, members, and Chairman of the Union Public Service Commissions, and members and chairmen of the elections commissions and other constitutional bodies. The constitution offers maximum power in president's hands. Still, he never violates Indian constitution. He directs the cabinets of ministers in such a way that fruitful governance or fruitful coordinations of the cabinet minister cabinet minister performs with a good governance. He can appoint a special tribal minister, and he can declare any area of the union territories or any part of the India as a scheduled caste and scheduled tribes area and backward class area also. He appoints all the commissioners and chairpersons of backward classes, scheduled tribes and scheduled castes. Even he can include or exclude any tribes in the schedules of the constitutions. Now, if we want to focus about the legislative power, as the Indian Constitution is a federal in structure, still all the boundaries, names, and structures or status of any statehoodship of any state may be diminished, may be enlarged, or any part of the union territories can be donated, or any other foreign territories can be acquired by the amendment of the constitution, article number 368. The presidents, although have unique power, maximum power in his hand, still he cannot withdraw or reject the constitutional amendment bill that requires to reorganize or delimit the boundary of the India. So anyway, now let's come to the point about the legislative power of the president. President is a part and parcel of Indian Parliament. Still, he never sit on the either joint sittings or individual sittings of upper house or lower house. He or she only gives its consent the bill, then the bill becomes the act. He has the power